We were just kids hoping to make a break out of Liverpool, and it turned into something much more important, really.
Tonight on 48 Hours.
1, 2, 3, 4.
A special edition, Paul McCartney on tour.
Well, he was just 17. You know what I mean.
John just said, I'm leaving the group. And our jaws just fell.
Behind the scenes with a musical legend.
The worst question I really feared was they'd say, Paul, are you happy? And I go,
Backstage.
and he just came up to me and said, I'm going to buy your songs, you know? And I went, yeah, great. It was really tough, folks. You're Paul McCartney.
Offstage.
In fact, one evening I entertained Jesus. It was very nice, actually.
I gotta see him. I mean, I want it.
On stage.
I feel like an Olympic champion who got a gold medal. I got a gold with the Beatles, you know. So I'm not going to kind of say, no, I didn't, or I hate them for getting me a gold. I love them.
Paul McCartney. To millions of Americans, he'll always be just Paul, as in John, Paul, George, and Ringo. At 47, the former Beatle would seem to have it all. Fabulous wealth, a 20-year marriage, a musical legacy that helped shape a generation. But with John Lennon murdered and George Harrison and Ringo Starr branching out into movies and TV, McCartney is back on tour in the United States for the first time in 13 years. What's Paul McCartney's message to his fans and to himself? Come along with us to Chicago, where 48 Hours was given extraordinary access to the music, the man, the memories.
Chicago!
As far as the Bodyguards are concerned, it is not only rock and roll.
We're going to be the lead car.
It's much more serious than that.
I'm supposed to go to 435 North Michigan.
They know, as we all do now, what can happen to the rich and famous, especially if only yesterday you were one of the Beatles.
Call for my kids, please. They love you.
Paul McCartney is back.
You're a lot bigger in real life.
I'm bigger.
Yeah.
I'm huge, man.
He's on the road again with a new band.
It's all right, guys. Take it easy.
That includes his wife, Linda.
I thought we were in Germany, but it turns out we're not.
Wir sind in Chicago.
Oh, Chicago.
Mein Schatzi.
I saw a man dance with his wife.
So they have the time of their life.
The Beatles are the #1 recording group of all time.
Look at that playing.
Yeah.
Only Elvis had more top 40 hits.
Oh, Harry.
Great, man.
But McCartney hasn't had a #1 song in 6 years. And the cold fact is, a lot of the pop world wrote him off.
Is there a tape cassette recorder in here?
Probably just up there.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Yeah.
But he's got a new album out now, and the critics like it.
And now the build-up before the gig begins. The press conference first, and then the gig itself.
They've already played a few cities in Europe, and they've begun a cross-country U.S. tour to promote the new album. And if things work out, to re-establish Paul McCartney as a major force in pop music for the 1990s.
Big Mac truck. Big Mac truck. Here we are, guys. Tense up.
There it is. There it goes.
McCartney's new release, Flowers in the Dirt, has already gone gold.
Excuse me, sir.
500,000 sales.
Thank you. Close, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, here we go.
And they're hoping the tour will push it to platinum. 1 million albums.
Take my cassette and go. So what's the gig?
Besides all the traveling and all the concerts, there's also the media.
What does it feel like to know that you've been, such an enormous...
Did you come into Chicago and go out and run around the city a little bit?
Which you're expected to do if you're trying to get back to the top.
You're starting the next leg of the tour off in Detroit, a place that started to stamp out the Beatles campaign and a Paul is dead rumor. Do you ever feel like the city has it out for you?
Nah, not really. I mean, we never believed all that stuff. It's like Paul is dead as well. There was another rumor, you know. I didn't believe that one.
The record isn't the only thing McCartney is pushing. Celebrity has also given him a forum.
Paul, this is Dave McBride from Q101.
Hi, Dave.
Nice to meet you.
For his message.
I, like a lot of other people, want to see a lot of the pollution stopped. I want to see this hole in the ozone layer stopped so I can go back sunbathing. We want to live in a clean world, yo.
Take it easy, group. Behave yourselves, no jumping on seats, okay?
Is there something you haven't heard that you're wondering, why hasn't anybody asked me that?
There's little areas that I know and that I know people don't kind of know about. Well, the trouble is, I end up sounding like I'm trying to justify myself, which I don't like. But there's a bit of a feeling about that kind of John was really the sort of only avant-garde one in the Beatles.
But you know, in a way, let me be blunt, time has been better to him in some ways than you, and I don't want to be cold about this, but John is dead. With death comes a certain amount of sympathy.
Well, exactly, that's the thing, and that's really the danger. And I think, you know, John would be the first person to not say he was the only guy in the Beatles or he was the major talent. I never ever heard him suggest that to anyone.
Well, it's been...
But as you say, you know, when a person dies, they tend to get martyred.
Does it bother you?
I've seen one or two things that have kind of said, you know, John was the Beatles, and these other guys just backed him up. That bothers me, because it's just not true. Most of the, certainly all the stuff I sing tonight, John didn't really have much of a hand in. I pretty much got to leave that for people to find out. You know, if I start coming on heavy and trying to say, hey, you know, I was just as important as John was, it's very unseemly.
With death, in some cases, comes martyrdom.
Comes a sort of eulogy, yeah, which is good. I mean, you know, why not? You know, he was a great guy. As he said himself, if there's such a thing as a genius, I am one. You're the guy from Rolling Stone? Yeah. Hi, all right, David, all right, yeah. I'll see you in a bit. We're going to do a sound check, all right?
Does it surprise you, the power of the legend today?
Well, welcome all. Welcome all.
Yeah, I mean, it does surprise me because, you know, really we were just kids hoping to make a break out of Liverpool, and it turned into something much more important, really. What doesn't surprise me is the fact that it's kind of lasted, because John and I put in a lot of work, man, on those songs. I mean, we were really, really keen to emulate the songwriters that we loved. I mean, I was out to become like another Cole Porter. Still am, babe.
Did you get a place to park good?
Yeah, I parked out in Iowa.
We got a half hour before my hair appointment.
For Joy Waugh and her husband Bob, this is no ordinary day at the mall.
This morning my mom called me. Hey, these are all on sale, Bob. She goes, what are you going to do today? And I said, I need something new to wear. And she goes, you haven't changed at all. You always went shopping before you went to see one of the Beatles. Yeah, I'll just get that, okay?
It's the day before Paul McCartney comes to town. And for Joy Waugh, even if money can't buy you love, there's always your charge account.
Gonna give that plastic an exercise today. I'm going to see Paul McCartney, so I've got to, what have I got to wear? And that's a big deal. I need all the confidence I can get in case I run into him.
You said you wanted something.
Something that you think, like, Paul McCartney would think would look nice. All right?
Yeah.
It's not just a passion, it's a pursuit.
The concert is, well, I mean, I'm going all 3 nights, so.
For the next 48 hours, Joy will be tracking Paul McCartney around Chicago, hoping for a face-to-face encounter.
I'm really keeping my fingers crossed I'm going to see him, yeah.
Whole new you.
Yeah, looks good. I got to get a marker for autographs. They got them. You know, the Beatles all wore tweed. Did you know this is just what I was looking for? I got to have the sheep. He shares sheep. I got to have that sweater. I got to find my husband. I'm done, I think, okay, Robert? Yes. I've done enough damage, okay?
Okay.
It's a very serious thing with me. Thanks. I mean, it's like I'm consumed with this all day and night until he gets on the plane and goes home.
And 3 hours later, before Paul McCartney has even checked into his hotel, our fans are checking it out.
You could say it's a dry run or a little preparation of the couple days ahead. So what we're going to do...
It's a sport of yours, paw hunting.
Oh, yeah.
Suppose he walked through the door right now. What would you do if he actually spoke to you or shook your hand? Have you thought about that?
No.
You wouldn't throw yourself on him and start kissing him
God,
madly?
No. I mean, if I was 16, you know, sure, probably. You know, that's all over with now. I'm a considerate fan. When he comes out, he uses these elevators here. And I really think that if I work hard enough this week and persevere, I'll see him.
But the only sighting that night...
All right. Who was here? John and Yoko.
John and Yoko. Well, maybe tomorrow.
I'm not feeling despondent about it. I've got like 2.5 days yet. Excuse me, thank you. All right, are you gonna be in my dreams tonight?
89. Give me a number. 0706.
5 p.m. Saturday.
48.
The day before Paul McCartney opens.
Give me a number.
Production manager Chris Lamb and his crew arrive at Chicago's O'Hare Airport. And this
75. What's the first digit?
Is the least of his worries.
We got a lot of people in Chicago waiting to see a show.
Numbers.
We run tight. Run very tight.
00.
Lamb has to meet a deadline.
12 midnight we're rigging. 6 a.m. I've got lights coming in. 9 a.m. I've got the carpenters coming in along with projection and lasers. The sound at 10, bang gear at 1.
He has only 16 hours to set up McCartney's multi-million-dollar stage.
I'm carrying 46 men, 10 truck drivers on the road with me, 5 carpenters. I hire another. I'm missing a man, 50 union stagehands, 7 sound men. I've got one of the best road crews out.
32 feet.
515 is what you're making. It's got to be right here. For Paul McCartney, when he walks on that stage,
4,200 pounds.
it needs to be identically the same every day.
It's got to be flush.
As long as he feels comfortable and confident with his stage, then the only thing he's concerned with is giving a good performance to his audience.
Yeah, downstage again for this one.
Downstage is good.
We're real safety conscious of this stuff out here.
Tell me about your grid that you're going to put up here. How much weight are you actually putting up in the air?
With all of the lighting and the sound and everything up there, we'll be hanging about 32 tons.
32 tons? That's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Of course, if you got Paul McCartney who's going to be standing under it, you've got to do it right, huh?
Paul McCartney or anybody, really. I'm standing under it, too.
Well, Chris, it's 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Every truck come in accounted for? You got
all the trucks are here. We unloaded 4 last night. We have 6 more to go.
When do you sleep again?
After the show tonight.
Oh, you'll stay up all the way?
Yeah. I drink a lot of coffee and smoke too many cigarettes. I have some more of my lighting people arriving now.
What number's that that's bouncing, Lauren?
It's 12 o'clock and we don't have a speaker in the air.
This is the one that was used on the last Beatles tour. Probably the most valuable instrument I've ever touched.
These guys are different. In another era, they'd have been cowboys, or they'd have been pirates. No one knows, no one really cares who these guys are, their names, their faces, anything else.
I'm just cleaning up microphones so they don't smell nasty.
#1 guitar he uses throughout most of the show.
Everybody's still nervous about each gig, you know? We're all anticipating any problem might arise. We want it to be perfect every night.
All set?
What kind of toll does this job take on you and your men?
How long until we go up to testing height? A lot of people think it's a glamorous type of job and it's hang out with rock stars and things. So we can go up to testing height in about 10 minutes? But you give up your personal life. We travel, we work hard. A lot of the guys have left wives, family, everything else at home, and you leave them at home for anywhere between a month to 6 months. It's tough because the only free time a lot of these guys have is late at night. And late at night, you got a choice of going to sit in your hotel room or down to the bar.
I was convinced I wouldn't be touring when I was, over 30, and I'm 35 and I'm still doing it.
There is a heavy emotional toll, yeah. My own marriage is just falling apart, for want of a better word. It happens to a lot of us. It's one of the diseases of the job.
We're getting the final preparations for a sound check right now.
You on schedule, Chris?
Yeah.
You still worried?
Yeah.
Still worried?
Always. Now we'll just be working on the sound purely. How's that other mic? Okay? He wants to do his perfect show up there. I want to do mine down here. Yeah, we're in good shape. Just another one of those long days. Yeah.
Let the sun catch you right.
I never dreamt I'd be even in this business, much less working for the man who started it all.
They don't get much bigger than this.
No, you can't go much bigger. It's not like we have to become famous or we want to be famous, but we know in ourselves what we've done. And at the end of the night, when you get that big applause, that's for us too. 30 minutes till we roll film. 30 minutes.
All right, let's go.
You know what the crew calls you?
Don't ask. No.
Some of them call you Dad.
Dad?
They
That's
said,
cool.
In L.A., they said Dad was doing well tonight. You're only 47, which is a young man, obviously, but how old is too old to be a rock and roll star?
Well, you know, that's the question that keeps getting sort of stretched. The answer gets stretched. We used to think 24 was like it. You know, we used to look at 24-year-old guys when we were 18 and think, he's a bit past it, you know. But you get to 30, and then you get to 40, and it doesn't feel bad yet.
All right, lads, that's us all checked out.
Let me ask you a question that I haven't totally thought through. So bear with me on this one.
Another one?
There's something about adulation that interests me. What does that do to you? I mean, does it throw you off at all?
I don't know, really. I always wanted to sing. I always wanted to be on the box, you know, on the telly. I always wanted to be part of what I saw when I was a kid. It wasn't necessarily the adulation or anything. It was just that's what I wanted to do for a kind of job. So you get there and you find people, you know, really sort of screaming and stuff. And it's fun. I'm a married guy. I've got 4 kids. I'm not about to run off with these girls. More than my life's worth.
Not with your wife on stage.
And with a big rolling pin she's got behind that keyboard. No, but I mean, you know, it's just not anything I'm about to do these days. But we keep up this sort of joke, really. To me, it's a bit of a joke. It's a nice joke. They're going, ah! And I'm going, hey, okay. But it's like, no way, Jose, you know, it's not real.
Well, it's a bit of a dry old do, Paul.
Yeah, it is. Sorry, Rog, we don't drink here. It's very hard for me to actually, in my mind, think I am a really famous world star.
Honest?
And these stars are coming to my dressing room.
Like Roger Daltrey of The Who.
You know, if you're a nut, though. A nut? Brazil
Johnny
nut.
got some. What do you fancy,
Brazil
a beer
nut.
or
I think we kept the Brazil nut from last week in LA. Just a minute, love. I think the secret is that I don't actually take that on board. Luckily, there's one left. I've seen people who do, who really take it on board, you know, and I think they're missing the point. I mean, it's just a profession. But you've seen the glaring mistake on these sweats. To raise the anger level of any Scot. Glasgow, England.
I mean, spot the deliberate mistake.
I'll never live it down. To me, it doesn't go that much further beyond that. We just fix it, and you know, then we'll have a few collector's items. So yeah, we got spoiled starting in LA.
You also talk about liking being ordinary.
That's what I need.
But I mean,
it always gets me a bit screwed up that because people
come in a limo.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
what
you're worth a couple of bucks.
Yeah.
How do you mean it?
I mean inside me.
These are Linda's cousins, the Frishes. Do you know them?
Yes,
Henry.
There's the person that was always there.
Great.
How's Aunt Rose?
She had this hip operation.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen her since then.
No, I haven't.
She's...
But for a dancer, she's a wild dancer, that woman.
That's right. She doesn't.
I know.
You don't have chauffeur?
No, I don't have a chauffeur. We don't have a nanny for the kids. Linda does all the cooking.
Who are you to your kids?
Mind you,
Dad
she
or
said
Paul McCartney?
I'm Dad, mainly. When they were really little, I was in Scotland once, and the kids were riding past on a little pony, 2 of them up on a pony. And one of them, 4 or 5, one of them looked at me and said, "You're Paul McCartney."
It looks like it'll probably be about 5 minutes, okay?
Showtime.
Let's go.
The guy who looks like he lost the fight is the drummer, Chris Whitten. He fell off his bike. Robbie McIntosh plays lead guitar. Wicks plays keyboard when he's not getting autographs for his relatives.
Oh, no!
And the guy with the other home video camera is Hamish Stewart, who plays bass.
The Phantom of Scotland.
Is the film started now?
Yeah. The film started.
For years, Paul McCartney says, I tried to ignore the past. He pretty much stayed away from Beatles songs after the breakup.
I like that.
Too painful, he says.
That's the one they'll use.
But now, half the songs at his concerts are from the Beatle days. Paul McCartney seems to have come to terms with the past. And the 12-minute film that begins each show includes 2 songs with John Lennon singing lead.
I feel like an Olympic champion who got a gold medal. I got a gold with the Beatles, you know. So I'm not going to kind of say, no, I didn't, or I hate them for getting me a gold. I love them. I love what I did with them. I'm very proud of what we did.
Paul McCartney, the man, the music, and a first-hand account of the final days of the Beatles, later on 48 Hours.
Today's the day.
I'm like pumped up. I'm just going to see him. So.
With the first McCartney concert just hours away, Joy and Bob's apartment has become
Paul McCartney Central. May I help you? This is probably going to happen a lot today. Oh gosh.
How long have you been collecting memorabilia?
I've been collecting Beatles memorabilia since I was 14. I mean, if this place was going to burn down, the first thing I'd do is run for these walls and, you know, grab as much as I could and run out. Well, make sure the cat and my husband get out, but...
After the pictures are safe.
Yeah, right. This photograph was taken in London. The young lady on the side is my best friend from first grade, Nancy. I want a picture like that. Real bad. I mean, I have a picture similar to that.
Well, I see him.
Well, that's me.
And it's really enough when you're standing outside all day just to have a brief flicker of Paul McCartney walking into a building.
Yeah.
It's worth your while to be standing out there all day?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
You're in your late 30s now, and your house is basically decorated in Beatle.
Uh-huh.
How much longer can you be a diehard Paul McCartney Beatle fan?
Until, I don't know. It's a passion, not an obsession. Obsession to me is like a scary type of thing with fandom, because I think there's a dark side of it.
And you're not on that dark side?
Oh, my God, no. No. I'm just on the fun side.
And the fun has just begun.
Beatles Central.
Joy's closest friends pour in from all over the Midwest.
Can you believe it?
No.
We made it. Oh, man, it's great.
Sit down here. Want to sit on the end of the chair?
Isn't that nice?
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, wow.
Shot from Ringo at the concert, as well as an autographed 45 jacket.
Will you go to the concert all 3 nights?
2 nights.
2 nights.
We're going to fly back
We do
Tuesday.
have children.
You do, right? Do you think you'll get bored seeing the same show twice?
No.
What a stupid question.
I mean, there's something about Paul you have to admit.
He's the cute one.
He's the cute one.
I'll
That's
say.
right. And I'm short, and he's just about my size.
We're leaving this place in 20 minutes and going to the sound check.
Yeah.
You never can tell. You know, he might get there early.
Yeah.
I requested I saw her standing there, okay?
She was just 17, so you know what I mean. And the way she was laying behind the bed. So how could I dance with another? Woo! When I saw her standing there.
It's the joy. You know, because I was there. I got thrown out of the theater the first show I saw for screaming and stamping my feet on the wooden floor, you know? Ow! But it was worth it to get thrown out just to let it go and say, oh, I love those guys, they're so cute.
Any chance you'll be thrown out tonight?
No, I have grown up in some ways. No.
Let's go. Let's go.
Where are we going? We're going to see Paul.
We're looking to see if we can find just what part of the building the sound checks are done in.
Is he coming to do one this afternoon?
He could be.
You guys don't say a word, do you?
That's right.
That's okay.
Security.
That's right.
That's fine. That's all
You
right.
can't stick around here, though. This is private property right now.
Okay, well, I don't think he's here.
He's not here. I guarantee you.
We just I gotta see him. I mean, I want it. I gotta have it. I gotta have it.
Tonight or?
Yeah, tonight.
How many shows you going to?
One here and one in New York next weekend. I went to 2 in LA. Just gives you chills.
When he does Back in the USSR, the place goes nuts.
Not back in the USSR.
Yes, the place goes nuts, and then after he does that, he goes right into, well, she was just... The place goes crazy. But the best is the encore. The best.
What's that?
No! T-minus 1 hour, 16 minutes, and 15 seconds to blast off.
Time for a touch-up at a nearby hotel where the McCartney mob has checked in.
It's just the calm before the storm.
I'm getting going again, Joy.
Are you disappointed you didn't see Paul today?
No, because I would have been real surprised if I would have.
It's getting close, isn't it?
I mean, there's no way I could have come over to this hotel and sat here all day and not at least gone over there once to try.
6:45. 6:45.
Well, it ain't Linda, but it'll do, huh?
Okay, guys, this is
The
it.
doors are open at 7.
We'll have Kleenex for when everyone cries.
I'm going to use all these tonight. Paul McCartney, there it is! I mean, I'll be a mess, but it's going to be a great mess. I am so excited, I can't even tell you. This is almost as good as our wedding.
Yeah, well, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Here we go, Joy, here we go! All right!
These programs are great. I mean, is that hot or what?
There's no way Paul could disappoint you tonight.
Hold on, Joy. Oh, there is no way. No, there is no way he's going to disappoint me tonight. I'll probably have the same reactions I had when I was 14 years old. When the lights go down, you know, it's just going to be great. Fans understand, but it's really hard to explain to other people. It's kind of like he's made me throughout my life so happy that I just want to get close to that.
We love you! 48 Hours will continue.
The Loop, AM and FM, Chicago 621. We have
front row seats for McCartney's sold-out shows at the Rosemont.
An hour before showtime, 14,000 people streaming into the Rosemont horizon. The haves and the have-nots.
Desperate Beatles fan, looking to get in, and I need 2 tickets real bad, and everything has a price I'm willing to pay.
Eager to satisfy that demand, ticket scalpers. Never on the bill, always working the show.
Some people are so naive, they go in that park and they pull out $56. Then you explain to them, it doesn't work like that.
Any extra tickets?
No, it's sold out. I want 100 each.
Everything has a price I'm willing to pay. I'm desperate. I'm desperate, have a heart.
But tonight, the scalpers will have some unexpected customers.
The tickets are going, rumor has it, anywhere between $500 and $600. The guys are going to carry the money. Check your money, make sure you got $400 cash there. I've got the other $400.
Detective Ed Lee and a team of plainclothes officers from the Rosemont Police Department are across the street, preparing to scalp the scalpers.
Let's go to work.
Act 2. A professional scalper melts into the crowd.
Where are they for?
Section 113.
Section 1, where's that at, you know?
The first level on the side.
He's shrewd.
Sure you want to take 75 each?
No way.
He's cagey.
Gotta be 100.
He's
under arrest, police department. Put the money in your pocket.
There you go.
Put the money in your pocket. Put it in your pocket.
His name is Tom. He scalps all across the country. Now, he's just been scalped.
The reason I got caught last night because Paul McCartney's crowd was just too damn old.
Well, these undercovers were obviously of that age, right?
Yeah, I'm saying in this business, rock and roll is for the young, you know what I mean? And basically, you dealing with young people. You know a cop.
With his identity concealed, Tom agreed to tell us all about his job as a full-time scalper, a job he says earns him about $150,000 a year.
I scalped tickets for the Pope once.
You do what?
I scalped tickets for the Pope.
What Pope?
The Pope from the Vatican, you know.
How do you do that?
This was sleazy, but it had to be done. The Pope was resident in South Carolina. But what it was, the nuns were giving away tickets to people who couldn't afford it, to good Catholics who couldn't afford it. And so I was a good Catholic for a day. I went to all the nuns. After I saw a nun, I said, "Sister, may I please have a ticket? I want to see the Pope." And the sisters, all the nuns had all the good seats. And they were giving me $50, $100 seats. Went out to the highway and sold them.
How much money did you make off of the Pope?
I did it for a while, but I just said, oh, this is getting low. I can't do it anymore.
Your conscience get to you?
500. Not conscious, just that people are looking at me like, my God, isn't anything sacred?
You should have been a piano player with these hands.
Who's number 2? You got a driver's license? Eddie, we're going to charge him with ticket scalping?
How do you get your tickets?
Well, I've been in this business a long time, and I know a lot of people. I get tickets from people who work at Ticketmasters. You got a high school girl working there. She makes $4 an hour tops. And I'll walk in there, and I'll give her $200. I'll give her $100 for information.
Hey, the gentleman's from Wisconsin, came down here with his wife. He has 4 tickets all in a row. He was attempting to recoup what he says he paid for the tickets, even taking a loss at that. I don't think he's a professional ticket scalper. He came too far to only be holding 4 tickets with him. What we're going to do is return all 3 tickets to him. We're not even going to seize the 2.
What are we going to do with the other 2, though?
You're going to have to eat them.
Can I sell them for $28.50?
$28.50, sure, absolutely.
I'll do that. That's great.
And I'll tell you what,
I need the money.
I'm not the only team out there. If another team catches you, or one person catches you, who's
be in
back
trouble.
in here, we're going to charge you to the maximum, because I'm giving you a break.
You got tickets?
Yeah, here.
What do you got, sir?
Doug from Wisconsin is not having a good night.
What do you want for him?
$28.50.
That's it?
Yeah, that's what I got sold for.
Where they at?
17, 18.
We're looking for better
seats?
Better seats than that.
Oh, my God. I don't know. I've never been here. I thought these were good.
What do you want for him, sir?
$28.50.
You're not a skank.
That's a good boy. Thank you.
Good boy.
The couple he just tried to sell his tickets to were, you guessed it, undercover cops. 8:05 p.m. Paul McCartney is about to take the stage. Our man from Wisconsin has had enough. He has decided to take a loss and eat the tickets and leave the scalping to the pros.
It's a great thing for all of us. Promoter got paid, and ordinarily I would have got paid. The cop got paid. Paul McCartney got paid. It's a beautiful world.
Any extra tickets? Any extra tickets?
I got some mezzanines, your 5th row, right on the side of the stage.
Let's go pack. Got a few odds and ends here. Okay, I think we're done now.
In the world of big-time rock and roll, Mark Brickman is a one-man band on the run.
Hello.
Brickman's light designs go everywhere McCartney tours.
What do you think? Think I should wear a tie? No? No. Okay. I'm getting married on Saturday. Gotta go. Bye.
We interviewed him in Los Angeles.
Oh, man. Now, see, you guys made me forget my sneakers.
One stop before Chicago for McCartney.
These are the flip-tops.
One stop before the altar for Brickman.
I hope I got everything.
In order to put Paul McCartney in the spotlight,
Go back. That one. I like that.
Brickman presides over tons of lights and lasers and computers.
It's really the state of the art.
Enough equipment to illuminate Illinois.
There's only about 5 guys in the world that do what I do that are on my level.
I'm looking for the luminous legend burned into our visual consciousness, you know, for one moment or two. And it's
easy. So I look at it more like I'm a director and an editor, and I put it together.
Brickman is at work on a TV commercial.
Lauren, is he going to drop the pods? Then they want to do something for the ending here.
For the tour's co-sponsor, Visa.
General wash across the stage, so everyone's covered, and then they all go right on Paul. Each song has its own, I guess, picture or personality to it, look to it. In the course of the tour, it'll be changed, it'll be refined, some colors might change, or we might change the focus, but the basic look is set and it's there. And yeah, I mean, it's scripted.
Can you think back and think how the level of sophistication in the lighting and in the design then versus now?
These audiences now watch, constantly Garage and MTV, really fast cutting, commercials on, TV on, everything's really on all the time. So it's a real sophisticated audience, and things have to be constantly changing almost in these shows.
They gotta move.
Or they gotta move.
Come on, Robert! Come on, Robert!
You gotta know enough about the electronics.
No, nothing. Absolutely nothing. It works. That's all I know. I love it. I love this light. It works. It's a great light. I know nothing. I know how the color changes, and I know that the light comes in. I know what the light does.
Yeah.
I know what I can use it for, but it's friendly electrons. That's all they are. A bunch of friendly electrons talking to one another.
And go. All spots blacking out.
In every show, there's the performance the audience never hears.
Stand by spots 1 through 5, frame 3, 4, 6 combo. Full body. Second cue, spot 6, frame 3, headshot. Ready 1 through 5. And go.
I depend on a lot of other people to make it happen. And it's not just myself. I mean, depend on my crew to really make it happen, to help me put the pieces together.
Used to say, little Leslie, you know you did, you know you.
How many lasers do you use in this?
This show we use 2, which makes it a full color system.
Now, because of Mark Brickman, we've brought lasers in as an art form, as in making sculptures. And with the sculptures now, we can move them.
Because if you smoke, we could let you light your cigarette off the laser table. That's always fun. We let people do that for like $5.
Now, what do you say to the kids of America?
We're professionals. Don't try this at home. Some professionals. We're the kids. Where are you going? I'm going right now, London.
Happy
And you have a good time, boy.
Funny, I thought we
Our
would
best
see
wishes
you.
go.
No, I hung out, just waited. We had to go.
We send you a little something in
don't
London.
worry
We
about it.
arrange
No, I just
something.
want to say goodbye.
We're
man.
already getting that
All right?
together.
Good
Have
man.
a good one, man. I'll see you in Toronto.
Third time
Toronto.
lucky.
Yeah.
May you be well, may you be healthy, and may it last.
Yes, it'll last this time.
Third time lucky.
Hold on,
John,
love.
take care. There was someone last show said to me after the show that if Rembrandt was alive today, he'd probably be doing what I do.
Say live and let die. Live and let die. Live and let die. Live and let die.
Splash out, 2 and 5 splashing out, ready? And go. Nice job.
It was 26 years ago today that the Beatles' She Loves You hit the U.S. record charts. 13 days later, the lads from Liverpool arrived at New York's JFK Airport for their first U.S. tour. Watching from the windows of Pan Am Flight 101, the Beatles thought they had landed at the same time as the president. But America was waiting for them. Within a month, 60% of all the records sold in this country were Beatles songs. They went on to write and sing 189 songs in all and sold more than 1 billion records.
There's nothing you can do that can't be done. Nothing you can sing that can't be sung. Nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy.
At the actual breakup of the Beatles, it was painful. And, I mean, we likened it to like a divorce. That, you know, these people had been together since they were school kids together, had finally broken up, and it wasn't exactly amicable. There was a lot of business differences and a lot of money involved.
All you need is love. All you need is love.
Now it's 20 years later, and now when I look at those songs, I don't think of any of the pain associated with that time.
John said he didn't miss the Beatles after the breakup.
I think that...
Do you?
Yeah, I think John said a lot of things that he didn't necessarily mean. John was that kind of guy. He's a great guy, but he also said the Beatles were bastards, and he didn't miss the Beatles. John was a lot of bravado involved in what John said.
You don't believe that he meant
I don't
that?
believe it, not for one tiny second. I know for a fact he missed them. He talked to Yoko, and she says, yeah, he missed them. I talked to him on the phone. He said, you could tell he missed them, but John was not the kind of guy, you know, he's like, he's the kind of guy you'd thump in the mouth. He said, did that hurt? He said, no. You knew it hurt.
How about you?
Not that I ever did thump him in the mouth.
You
How about me?
Even now? Even now?
Yeah, I mean, I think the point is, you know, that the Beatles was a great band. We came out of Liverpool together. We did a lot of great things together. And so I think there was a point when we missed them. And I think that was shortly after the breakup, maybe the first 5 years after the breakup. After that, I think John would start to be right, you know, that we'd miss them less and less as we each formed our new lives.
I'd like to introduce my wife, Gertrude.
Not really. It's not really a name.
It is a bit like leaving the army, you know, you kind of then you go get married, you have kids. I think all of us recognized that there had to be a life after the Beatles.
Once there was a way to get back home. Once there was a way to get back home. Sleep, little darling, do not cry. And I will sing
a lullaby.
Give me a short version, if you would, Paul, about the breakup. How did it happen?
We'd been together like 10 years, and during the making of the White Album, things started to get a little bit edgy. In fact, during the making of Sgt. Pepper, George hadn't showed for most of the album, which was unusual, because we normally showed for our recording sessions. George hasn't been too interested in making that album. I think he was building a swimming pool. And it was just all a little bit like that. And of course, I was sort of thinking, you know, thought, well, I won't say anything, but it's a bit dodgy. We went on to make the White Album, and things really did start to kind of disintegrate a little bit. And eventually, when Alan Klein came in, I think he was the kind of the final straw. He got a meeting with John and Yoko the night before we were due to have a big sort of State of the Nation meeting. And John and Yoko arrived the next day, and John issued a statement saying, all my affairs are now in the hands of Alan Klein. Everything I do must go through him. And we were due to sign a deal with Capitol Records, which was what we were all there for, this meeting. And Klein apparently had said to John, look, don't say anything. John had expressed his desire to, like, leave the group. And Klein, being a businessman, had said, don't say anything till after they've signed the new Capitol deal, which he was involved with. I'd been arguing for weeks about his percentage and stuff. I figured we were a big act. We could give him 15%. The others were saying, no, he's got to have 20. I said, we're a big act, guys. Real big group. He'll take 15. Don't you worry. They said, no way. Anyway, so John was at that meeting, and he just suddenly let it out. He just looked at us all. We were sitting around like this, and John just said, I wasn't going to tell you till after you signed the Capitol deal. He said, but I'm leaving the group. And he just looked at us, and our jaws just fell. And we all went kind of white. And he said, it's kind of a great feeling, telling you. It's kind of an adrenaline rush. He said, it's like, you know, telling someone you're getting divorced. He said, it's kind of, you know, a little bit weird, but I'm leaving the group. So we all kind of just sort of said, So we left it for like about 3 or 4 months, and nothing happened. He was obviously not going to come back to the group. He was enjoying his newfound freedom. So we all decided that that was it.
And I will sing a lullaby.
I decided that it was time to tell the world rather than just keep pretending we were still a group when we weren't for 4 months. And I let it out in a statement with an album I put out called McCartney. And in fact, John got annoyed with me. He said, I wanted to tell. I said, well, tough, you know. And my overwhelming feeling was like, I'm of no use anymore. My usefulness is gone.
Really?
Yeah. You know, I just am, what's my use? What do I do now? What am I?
You were one of the Beatles, and the Beatles didn't exist anymore.
It's like, yeah, you know, you were one of the Beatles. That was the frightening bit. You once were. And I kind of think, well, God, you know, I'm not like at retirement age yet. I can't just swan off to a desert island. Yeah, I've got to do something. So just the kind of depression of actually trying to think what I would do next, you know, and my self-esteem was the thing that I think the guys who get laid off, it's what they feel. You just plummet. You just get so depressed.
Did you
really?
really?
I mean, that was the worst moment other than my mother dying when I was 14. That was the kind of second worst moment in my life to that point. I mean, I didn't get up for a long time. I didn't shave for a long time. I drank a little. Hey, what the hell? Yo, let's go for it. We got time off, guys. Why shave? No one's coming round.
I mean, it was that
I don't have to
serious.
go out. Oh, yeah, it was serious, all right.
It was serious to your fans, obviously. I mean,
It was more serious to my family, you know. I mean, the fans is one thing. You know, we'd given them 10 years of good music at least. But the current situation with a young family as I had, you know, with Linda, we'd only been
But you
married.
weren't about making ends meet. You weren't worried about
No,
that.
it wasn't that. It's just self-esteem. It's
Yeah.
not having money.
Yeah.
It took me quite a lot of time, and Linda was like a major help with that. She kind of lifted me back up, and I eventually started to think, well, you know, maybe it's not the end of the world, but it took a couple of months. And the difficult thing for me that an ordinary guy being laid off would encounter was people like yourself would sort of say to me, once I was trying to make a return to the world, you know, and start doing interviews as kind of, you quote, your ex-Beatle, the worst question I really feared was they'd say, Paul, are you happy? And I go, yes. You know, and you felt you were going to break down, lying through your teeth. You weren't happy at all, you know. So it was really tough, folks. And here's where the violins come in.
I never give you my pillow. I only send you my invitation. And in the middle of the celebrations, I'll break down. Boy, you're gonna carry that way
But you know, I gradually kind of clawed my way back up, got Wings together, which was like a very difficult thing, because it was like, how are you going to follow and act like the Beatles? I thought, well, you just follow it, that's all. You won't follow it as well.
But you'll do something.
You do something. Consequently, every success we ever had with Wings, and there were many, was totally overshadowed by the Beatles. And since the Beatles, I have outsold Beatle records and stuff. So, I mean, you look at those moments and think, well, you know, so there is life after Beatles. Yep. Yay.
Hi, Linda. Were you listening to this interview?
Well, I think the questions are hard. It's like Picasso never got past his blue period in some people's minds, so for ordinary people it gets a bit, oh, come on, you know?
Well, do you think the questions are old? You've heard them all before?
Some of them, I think it was nice.
Paul told me yesterday, I said, don't you get tired of these questions? You know, what is there somebody hasn't asked you? And he said, you know, there's some stuff, I don't know if he meant about me, about himself, or about the Beatles, that people don't know.
Oh, sure.
Like what?
Only they
Oh,
know.
there's a lot of stuff.
Only they know.
Don't know. I mean, the thing is, you know, let's face it, in an interview situation, it's not easy to do this stuff. Because, I mean, I'm not stupid. I know there's however many your viewing figures are looking.
What is your role? You play keyboard and tambourine. You're not a professional musician.
Well, a lot of rock and rollers, it's down to 12 bars and a bit of fun. A bit of an escapism, really.
Now, understand how I mean this, and bear with me.
No, I have no problem. I've heard everything.
Okay. To me, the fact that you're up there is a testament to how strong your relationship is, and frankly, to his love for you, because, and don't take offense to this, he can get other people
No problem, I agree.
to hit the tambourine and play the
Absolutely.
keyboard, who are probably, and again, don't take
Better.
offense.
No, are you kidding? Probably most kids in high school are better than I am.
So what is that? I mean,
Well, one, we wanted to be together, you know.
when people suggested that he give you the heave-ho,
No problem.
the musical heave-ho, that is,
Raw and, yeah.
He wouldn't
or
do
the
it.
other, they'd like it if he totally he heard.
does it hurt you at all when you hear some of the things people have said over the years
No,
about your
it doesn't
musical
hurt me.
ability?
I am used to people who have certain ways of thinking, me rubbing them the wrong way.
In some circles, I want to emphasize, in some circles,
I even know what you're going to say before you're going to say it, almost.
go ahead,
No, go ahead. You
that
say
you're one of the two women who broke
That's
up the
what
Beatles.
I mean. That was how
Yoko-
many years ago?
20.
Right.
Yoko Ono being the other.
Well, I mean, I don't even, can barely comment on this anymore. It's so ridiculous. I mean, that isn't what broke up the Beatles, you know. I certainly didn't break up the Beatles, you know, honestly. I would have liked them to stay together, are you kidding?
I get the impression after spending basically 48 hours with him, I really get the impression that he misses the group, and if there was some way to get together the other two and him, he would really want to do it. Am I reading
I
too
think
much?
he'd definitely like to play with Ringo and George. I know he would have loved to have played with John. He never wanted to stop playing with John. So to play, I know he'd love to. I know he'd love to get the stories right and set it right. He has that kind of passion.
Was Paul worried when the tour began if the critics didn't like it, if the people didn't turn out?
Paul likes to be liked.
So was he worried? Was he a little nervous?
He's been nervous ever since I met him about that kind of thing because he wants to please. He loves his music. He wants people to appreciate it.
And in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. How could I dance with another? When I saw her standing there.
For 48 hours, she's been trying to meet the man.
Hard work, huh? It's hard work.
But so far, Joy Wah has been left out in the cold.
Nope.
There have been near misses.
He's gone. Service entrance. Foiled again.
Dubious deliveries.
I have a gift and a note for Paul McCartney. I'd like you to take it up to his room for me, please.
I don't show that he's registered in the hotel.
And this is her last chance.
He's close. I can just feel it. Are you here by any chance waiting for Mr. McCartney's party? I said, are you waiting for someone to come through the lobby? And he goes, yes. And I said, and you'll pick them up right here? And he goes, yes. Maybe we're going to get lucky today. Where's he going? Where are they going? No, there it goes. There it goes. Come on. Same drivers. Is this it?
Parking garage.
When the limo comes up here, and if he stops, I'm going to go up and knock on the window of the limo and hope that he can find it in his heart to roll the window down and just... Here comes the limo. Here comes the limo. Yeah. Here he comes. Get me to cry. Get me to... Paul! Paul! Well... Well, I knew he had to see me, so that's all right. I'm happy because he just looked at me just for a second, and that's enough. I'm happy now.
1, 2, 3, 4. Well, she was just 17. You know what I mean. And the way she looked was way beyond the bed. Yeah. Never gonna dance with another. Woo! And I saw her standing there. Since I saw her standing there. Yeah, since I
Lennon and McCartney wrote more #1 hits than anybody, and with that kind of popularity, you get to meet a lot of very interesting people.
In fact, one evening I entertained Jesus. It was very nice, actually. He showed up at my house in London. I was living on my own as a bachelor in London. And he showed up at the gate, and I was very amenable to people. I was just living on my own. I was, what the hell, you haven't got a family you're going to disturb. You're not bothering me. So I used to kind of generally spend a lot of time talking to these people. So this guy turned up, and I said, "Hi, who are you?" He said, "I'm Jesus Christ." I said, "You better come in then." So he came in. I said, "Look, I've got a session. We were recording Fixing a Hole for the Sgt. Pepper." I said, "Well, you better come to the session." I said, "But keep quiet, won't you?" I said, "Just sit in the corner, don't bother any, you'll be all right."
You're telling Jesus this.
So I had to tell all the guys, I said, it's Jesus, fellas, you know. I said, "You don't mind if he sits in on the session, do you?" I said, No problem.
Let me ask you about one of your new songs. This one, about a marriage?
About a relationship, yeah.
And about not expressing emotions and feelings?
Did I ever take you in my arms, look you in the eye, tell you that I do? Did I ever open up my heart, let you look inside?
You get those moments sort of late at night, or when you're feeling sort of good, I don't know, you think, oh, you know, it'd be great to kind of, I hope I tell her I love her enough, and I hope I do all that. And then you kind of come the morning and you've got to get off to the office. "Hey, goodbye, love you." And you know, life's like that. There's never kind of enough time to, if you're like your parents, for instance, to tell them, you know, "God, just what you meant to me."
There never could be a better moment than this one.
You always think, well, I'm saving it up. I'll tell them one day. And what happens to a lot of people is something like John, for instance, and getting back to that subject, he died. I was lucky. The last few months that he was alive, we'd managed to get our relationship back on track, and we were talking, we were having real good conversations, we were real nice and friendly. But George actually didn't, I don't think, get his relationship right. I think they were arguing right up until the end, which I'm sure is a source of great sadness to him. And I'm sure, you know, in the feeling of this song, that George was always planning to tell John he loved him, but time ran out. And so that's what the song's about, you know, is that, like, there never could be a better moment than this one, you know, now. Take this moment to say, I love you. It's quite the same.
We don't want this to get out.
No.
Along the same lines, Put It There. That's sort of a love story also.
Yeah.
If there's a fight, I'd like to fix it. I hate to see things go so wrong.
Yeah, it's something my father used to say to me. He used to say, "Put it there, if it weighs a ton." It's like, you know, here's looking at you, kid. It's one of those.
Sing along, put it there, if it weighs a ton. That's what a father said to his young son. I don't care if it weighs a ton, as long as you and I are here, put it there. As long as you and I are here, put it there.
To this day, McCartney earns 30% royalty on every Beatles song.
Are you with Rolling Stone?
But he doesn't own any of them. Michael Jackson does.
We wrote 2 songs together, and during lunch or something, he just took me aside. He said, "I'd like some advice." So I felt kind of big brotherly. You know, I'm quite a bit older than him. So I said, for a business, you ought to think about music publishing. It's because it's very good business. You love music. I'm into it. It does very well. It's a nice, easy business for a musician to be in. And it's a very rewarding business, because it's music, it's songs, beautiful songs. So he kind of said, okay, you know, and that was the end of it. And then a couple of weeks later we were chatting, and he just came up to me and said, "I'm going to buy your songs, you know." And I went, "Yeah, great, you know, good one," and we just carried on. And then a few weeks after that he said, "I'm going to buy your songs." I thought, well, it's a bit of an old joke by now, but very funny, all right, you know. And I still thought he was kidding, you know. And then just a few weeks later, just somebody rang me up and said, Michael Jackson's bought Northern Songs.
It's your whole portfolio.
Oh, yeah, and that's where all the Beatles songs are in. But, you know...
but it's not funny in a way to you, is it?
Well, no, it's not funny at all. But the thing is, there's nothing I can do about it. The fact that isn't funny was the fact that when we were 20, John and I, it was a kind of pretty ordinary publishing deal at the time. But they took the copyrights. So, you know, he bought that company, which was up for sale. There's nothing wrong with that. But I do intend to have a word with him. I spoke to him in LA, actually.
You did?
Yeah, and said, look, we've got to come to a good understanding here. Because there are a number of things I don't like about how he runs the company. I mean, isn't this weird? Me going to this young entertainer. Hey, kid. Look, I want a better deal around here. I figure I need a raise.
So he uses Revolution to sell sneakers.
Yeah, and his National Panasonic is All You Need Is Love.
Yeah.
Good Day Sunshine's an Oreo cookie these days.
Yeah. All right, I know this is not the same thing, but there is the Visa commercial. You just shot it, and you're already taking heat on it.
All that's happening is that these people are kind of underwriting the transport costs of the tour. So in return for which, I won't actually ever be seen turning to the camera and say, you know, the card you ought to pay. There's none of that. They basically are just seeing me running from here to there, and they do their own commercial. And the way I see it, they're really promoting us. It's a very good deal. In fact, you know, we stipulated. I said, I don't do commercials. I think it's bad for the songs.
Right.
I think it's bad for people of our generation who grew up with songs like All You Need Is Love. The song that you're proud of and you think has said something didn't mean National Panasonic.
Hey, don't let me down. You have found her, now go and get her. Remember to let her into your heart. Then you can start to make it better.
You know, the fans, when you sing the old songs, sometimes they laugh, sometimes they're happy, sometimes they cry. But one way or the other, the songs take them back. Do the songs take you back when you're up there?
Yeah, sometimes I get a bit of a choker on them, I must say. The other night I was doing Hey Jude, and I'd just done an interview prior to that where I'd been telling someone about John's value as a co-writer. The line in Hey Jude where I say, the movement you need is on your shoulder. And I was playing the song to John. And I said, the movement you need is on your shoulder. I said, I'll be taking that out, you know. He said, what for? I said, well, I just put it, it's just words. It doesn't mean anything. The movement you need is on your shoulder. Sounds like a parrot.
Yeah.
And John said, no, you won't be taking that out. You know, he said, that's an incredible line. It's the best line in it, man. He said, I know what it means. And I said, okay,
you've
got it.
With us.
You got it. Well, you know, the movement you need is on your shoulder. I mean, you have the wherewithal to be what you want to be in a near proximity to where you are.
It's been a long and winding road from the old days in Liverpool. Today, he's worth a fortune. Guesses range anywhere from $130 million to $500 million. So he's not out there just for the money. Paul McCartney, forever the Beatle, has something to prove. That not all his best years are behind him, that the critics will still embrace him. So if going back on tour after all these years is a gamble, as one critic put it, the gamble seems to be paying off.
I'm still kind of in the middle of this thing, you know. I don't ever feel like it's finished. You know, I'm only 47, I'm only just begun. You know. I'm still planning to write better songs.
Thank you, Chicago. See you next time.
Much of America has grown up to the tune of Paul McCartney's music, the electric poetry of a generation. Not everything has turned out the way that generation hoped. The world is just too complicated for that. But there's comfort that we can still be moved by the music, that it's still fun. Danny and the Juniors were right. Rock and roll is here to stay. I'm Dan Rather. That's 48 Hours for this week. Now here's a look ahead to next week.
I have some real problems with retention of memory.
My father's just not the person he was for, 75 years.
Millions of Americans either have it,
I know that she doesn't recognize me,
or fear they will.
My little motto is use it or lose it.
A tragic ordeal for the victims.
Living death.
And their families.
She kept praying for death.
The baffling mystery of Alzheimer's disease.
With that, I told the truth.
Next week.
Hey, June, don't make it bad. You take a sad song and you make it better. Remember to let her under your skin, then you begin to make it better, better, better.
Coming in February, the story of a man who lured his family into the most damaging espionage operation our country has ever known. Powers Booth and Leslie Ann Warren star in Family of Spies, starting February 4th on CBS. Now stay tuned for a veritable laugh attack, the Dave Thomas Comedy Special with guests Martin Short, Chevy Chase, and more, coming up next. For a transcript of 48 Hours, send $4 to Journal Graphics, 267 Broadway, New York, New York, 10007.
See you next time.
This is CBS.